ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our Iskcon YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss 26th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, in which the fundamental principles of material nature are being described by the Lord, G Padaseva. So, in the beginning, Maitra Muni says, what are the benefits of hearing about subject matters of Sankhya? Freedom from modes. We are in these modes of nature. We will get freedom, and self-realization, and cutting knots of attachment. These are the effects of hearing about this Sankhya Yoga. So, further description of this creation is described. First is Jiva, then Prakriti and Purusha. These are three specific points are there. Interaction and characteristics that will be described. So, characteristics of Purusha, the Lord, are being described first in text 3. Text 4, it is stated how interactions of Lord with Prakriti, Maya Dhakyana Prakriti Sriyate Sacharacharam, how the nature works. It is by the superintendence of the Lord. And from 5 to 7, interaction of Jiva with Prakriti. Gunair Vichitra Srijatim Sarupa Prakritim Prajaha Bilokya Mumuhe Sadhya Saiha Gyanaguhaya. Everyone is bewildered, divided into varieties by her threefold modes. Material nature creates the forms of the living entities. 84 lakhs kinds of living entities are there, and the living entities, seeing this, are illusioned by the knowledge covering feature of the illusory energy. So, Siva Siddhar Swami says, Tasya, that is Prakriti's Lilam Aha, how this Prakriti works. So, bewildered Jiva thinks that he is doer. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasya ahankar pramudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Actually, these works are being done by the modes of nature. But we are, because of this false ego, we think we are the doer. This is also stated by the Lord. Because of his forgetfulness, the transcendental living entity accepts the influence of material energy as his field of activities, and thus actuated, he wrongly applies the activities to himself. Prabhupada Maharaj says in the purport, the forgetful living entity can be compared to a man who is under the influence of disease and has become mad, or to a man hunted by a ghost who acts without control and yet thinks himself to be in control. This is Maya. So, under the influence of material nature, the conditioned soul becomes absorbed in material consciousness. Chaitanya Charitamrita is stated by the Lord, Mahaprabhu, पिशाची पाइले जैसे मति छन्न है मायाग्रस्त जीवर है शिवाबुदे. Just like when a person is hunted by ghost, how it does act? It doesn't act out of his own conscience. It is by the pisachi, by the ghost, he acts. Similarly, the fact. So, this misconception, G Padaseva says, leads to bondage. We have in this material world since time immemorial. Prakriti is the cause of Jiva's action, and Lord is the cause of results of his actions. So, characteristics and products of Pradhan are being described also. Pradhan, then Mahatattva, then Ahankar, all these things are already previously also described. It is further described in this chapter. And so, what are the products of Pradhan? 5 gross elements, that is, Bhumi, Apo, Nada, Vayu, Kham. The 5 gross elements, 5 tanmatras, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, 10 senses, 5 working senses, and 5 knowledge gathering senses. 4 antakarana. What are these? Mind, intelligence, false ego, and antakarana. That is Chetana, consciousness. So, characteristics time is the 25th element. These are the 24 elements. It is also stated by the Lord in 13th chapter. So, 25th element is time. What time does? Two. It has the two effects. First is instigators of fear in jivas, and second is agitator of gunas in prakriti. This guna, sattva, raja, tama. You will get the details of this guna or modes of nature in 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Gunantara Vibhaga Yoga. The Lord exists internally as Paramatma and externally as time. Time is the representative of the Lord. Kalasmi, Lokakakrit, Bhagavad Gita, Lord says also like that. So creation and characteristics of Mahatattva from Pradhan by the may say when the Lord looks at this Pradhan, then there is Mahatattva. This Pradhan is agitated by time. Sorry. And Lord impregnates it with jivas and Mahatattva is developed. Jivas are the eternal parts and parcels of the nature, Lord. So, after Pradhan is agitated by time, Lord impregnates it with jivas and Mahatattva is developed. Mahatattva consumes darkness of dissolution through its effulgence. It has its so much effulgence also. The characteristics of Mahatattva and Chitta are also described by the Lord, representing Mahatattva in jiva's body. Creation and characteristics of false ego. 3 types false ego. And these may be boring, but this is the we see in the creation. This is the this is the compassion of the Lord. This is compassion of the Lord. How does the Lord create so much things for us only? To get detachment from this material world. It is the Lord's compassion. So these false ego is of 3 types. That is Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. What of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Then in this way, Mahatattva Vikurbanat, described in 23 and 24 texts, these 2 verses, that material ego springs up from the Mahatattva which evolved from the Lord's own energy. The material ego is endowed predominantly with the active power of 3 kinds: good, goodness, passionate, and passion and ignorance. It is from these 3 types of material ego that the mind, the senses of perception, the organs of action, and the gross elements evolve. You see, this is the beginning of creation. So far, scientists are not able to understand how this creation takes place. Siddhar Swami in his purport says, Ahankarasya utpatti purvakam lakshanam aha chaturvi. In 4 verses, how this ahankar is created and its characteristics described in 4 verses. So, what are the products of false ego and characteristics? That is described from 77 verse to 49. These 13 verses. 27 to 28, it is stated a false ego in Sattva appears mind. Mind is a opulence of the Lord. Indriyana Manasasmi. Similarly, 2 characteristics residing deity in Anuruddha. This mind has 2 characteristics, Sankalpa and Vikalpa. And sometimes also it is stated 3 types of that. Thinking, feeling, willing. So anyway, and then in Sattva-guna, mind develops. In Rajaguna develops buddhi, or buddhi, intelligence. That is from Rajaguna of the Lord. And false ego in Raja develops 10 senses, 5 working senses and 5 knowledge gathering senses. And what about false ego in Tamaguna, or mode of ignorance? starts created sound. Sound is the first creation. Sabdake, Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, sound. Sound, from sound comes ether. Then it further transforms, and then in this way there is touch, there is air, etc. Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. You see how the Lord creates. So you won't get all this knowledge from scientists. So much experiments are done, so much Nobel Prize given, but they cannot explain it. But it described in Srimad Bhagavad. You are hearing in 10 minutes, you will hear all these things so easily, without paying any price. But still then people are not listening to this, whatever it may be. So different qualities of elements also been stated. So Lord combines all the elements with his cohesive energy, and he then enters into the universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu and gives it life. This Mahatattva, it is stated that from various limbs of this universal form, a universal form is created from various limbs. Virat Rupa, gross organ, subtle organ, sense devatas, they are created. Devatas try to wake up this Virat Rupa, but the Virat Rupa doesn't wake up. So, when in several verses, there is a very nice verse there. So many verses are there. Nodutishta tada Virat. Banhir vacha mukham bheje nodutishta tada Virat. Granina nasika bayur nodutishta tada Virat. Now this is Virat Rupa, it doesn't wake up. The god of fire entered his mouth, Virat Rupa, but with the organ of speech, but the Virat Purusha couldn't be aroused. Similarly, the god of wind entered his nostrils with the sense of smell, but still the Virat Purusha refused to be awakened. In these 7 verses as stated, you can go through these verses from 62 to 72. And in 70, verse 70, it is stated that when Vasudeva entered heart with Chitta, Virat Rupa rose up from water, this dissolution water, Garbhodakshaya. Similarly, prana, mind and intelligence cannot wake up a sleeping individual without intervention of Supreme Lord. So, Maitreya Muni says, the goal of all this is to contemplate on Supreme Lord with ahitiki bhakti. The main goal is to develop bhakti. So thank you very much for listening to our lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share and like our channel and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.